everyone! So for this week I had long division and synthetic division with polynomials. And so I wrote an example here, x cubed minus 4x squared plus 2x plus 5 divided by x minus 2. So I wanted to start the long division, and first of all let's just go over some vocabulary. The term that you're going to divide by is going to be the dividend, so this, in this case, for long division goes in the house. And my divisor is the term that I want to divide by. So here we have x minus 2, and then just on top, what I'm going to be left with after I do the long division is going to be called the quotient. So let's start. So for this equation, I'm going to look and I'm going to say that I want to, like regular long division, what times x is going to get me to x cubed? And so I have to multiply by x squared to get to x cubed. And so I'd write x squared not above the first term, but above the second term, because we want all of our powers to line up. So x squared, and then just like regular long division, I'm going to go across. I'm going to go x squared times x gives me x cubed. And then because it's not just x, it's x minus 2, I have to multiply x squared by negative 2. So that gives me a minus 2x squared. So now draw a line there, and then we're going to subtract the bottom. So I'm going to subtract this, that's going to cancel out, and then this becomes the opposite, so we're going to add this, and then I'm left with negative 2x squared. Then we're going to bring down our next term. And then I'm just going to repeat the same steps. So we want to know x times what is going to get us negative 2x squared. So in order to do that, I have to multiply by negative 2x. And so once again, I'm going to keep following the lowering descending order of powers. So I'm going to write it here, minus 2x. And then same thing, going to multiply by the first term, then the second. So negative 2x times x is going to give me negative 2x squared. Then negative 2x times negative 2 is going to give me plus 4x. And then we add this to cancel this out, and then I subtract this one, so I'm left with 2x there. I'm sorry, negative 2x. And then I'm just going to do it again, so we're going to bring it down, add 5 here, and then x times what is going to get me to negative 2x, and that is just negative 2. And once again, replacing it above its matching power. So negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Once again, add to cancel this first term out. Then we're going to subtract here, and I'm left with 1. And so now there's nothing else here for me to bring down, so I know that this is going to be my remainder. And so now I can write out my quotient here. Is our final answer. So we have x squared minus 2x minus 2. And I'm going to go plus, because we can't forget a remainder. I'm going to write 1 over x minus 2. Because it's not just the number 1. It's still 1 being divided by our divisor. And that is your final answer. So if you look at this first way we did it with long division, that's a lot of steps and it's a lot of time. And so moving on to synthetic division, this is going to be a lot faster. And so in order to start with synthetic division, we're going to do the exact same problem we did before. We're going to look at each of our terms, and we're going to take the coefficient of each term, and we're just going to write them left to right. So for the first one, we have 1. For the second one, we have negative 4. For the next one, we have 2. And then finally we have 5. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. If this were to be, for whatever reason, x to the 4th minus 4x squared, you'd have to have 0 as a placeholder for the x cubed. But in this case, we don't have to worry about that. And so now, in this little 90-degree angle, we're going to put our divisor. And so in this case, it's x minus 2. X minus 2. And I'm going to set this equal to 0. So we can get x equals 2. And then we're going to place that here. because that's what we're going to be using. So now, the trick to synthetic division, it's really easy once you get the hang of it. All you have to do is bring down your first term, 1, and then every term that we bring down, we're going to multiply it by whatever is in this box. So we have 2, so we're multiplying here. Okay, so 2 times 1 is 2, and then every time we go down, all we have to do is add. So we add -2. Once again, we multiply again by whatever's in the box. We get -4. 2 plus -4 is -2. And then we have 2 times -2, -4. Add going down, and we get a 1. So now, whatever you have in this very first space, that's going to be 1 power less than what you started with. You're going down a power. So we're going to be left with x squared minus 2x, we're descending powers, minus 2. And then once again, because this was as low as we could go with the powers, this is our remainder. If this had been a 0, we know that this would have divided perfectly with the dividend and the divisor, but because it's not 0, we know that it's not perfectly factored and there is going to be a remainder. So this again is our remainder. And so now we're going to do the same thing like we did before. We're just going to add 1 over, 1 over, and you might be saying, oh, just put it over 2. That was our divisor. But remember, we switched the 2 from the x minus 2, so we can't just write 2, we have to write x minus 2. And that is your final answer. And if we look back up, we have the same exact answer using long division and synthetic. So both ways work. In some cases, it may be easier to use synthetic. In some cases, long division may be more helpful. But either way, you can get the right answer. So I hope you enjoyed. Have a great week.